I was happy, but I don't think I'd ever experienced joy. And I really believe there's a difference between happiness and joy. And joy only comes through Jesus Christ. And happiness is very temporary, but joy is eternal.
Sometimes people are brought into your life to get you to a certain point.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they have to go. And it sucks to see them go. But, I mean, I genuinely don't think that everybody who comes into your life is supposed to stay, and that's the thing that has been the hardest thing for me to learn.
Every time that I hit rock bottom and every time I am backed up against the wall, that is where I learn more about Christ. Every single time.
Good morning and welcome to One Shepherd. This is a place where people of all Christian faiths can come together and share in the discipleship, journey, and love towards Jesus Christ. This is my friend Enna, and we're going to talk a little bit today about her journey down two roads. And I want to share with you something that I've asked. So when I was a kid, my mom, every single morning, she'd have us come downstairs. We'd sit at the kitchen table, and we would learn poems, and we would learn like paintings. Anyway, we learned a ton of stuff because she just thought that it was super important. But there's this poem.
Growing up?
Yeah. Like
all of it?
Like all of elementary school. Like all of them every single morning.
Before school?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I don't remember. I just woke up when they told me to. But anyway, there's a poem. It's by Robert Frost. And it goes, two roads diverge in a wood. It goes, two roads diverge in the yellow wood, and sorry I cannot travel both, to be one traveler long I stood. I looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. I took one other, just as fair, having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as perhaps the passing there has wondered really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I'll save the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubt if I shall ever come back. And I should be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood. And I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I did not understand this poem fully when I was younger. Like, it was just something that my mother had me recite over and over and over again until I was able to actually get it. And I didn't understand why it was so important to me. And I would say it over pulpits and I would tell it to people, and I didn't understand the power behind it until I realized exactly what it was talking about. There's somebody and they're standing and they're looking at these two different roads that they could potentially go down. One had been traveled down many times. You could tell there's footprints, probably signs, probably people happy down it. And then the other one, it says that it wasn't traveled as much, but it was the one that they felt drawn to go down. And they were like, I'll come back and I'll go down the other one another time. And so eventually this person, they end up down this road that isn't traveled as much. And they're like, I'm never going to go back. I never want to go back. And I won't do it. I won't do it. And that has made all the difference for them. And I think you could see this in two different ways. I think you could see this as maybe they did take the road more traveled. And they went down to the end of it. And at the end, they were like, okay, I found a happy life. I found a life full of money and pride and whatever they value in this world.
Priuses, Honda Accords.
Yep, exactly. It's the things that are of worldly value, right? And so they could go down that route and they could be like, okay, well, I'm never going to go back. And then there's the other one where it's probably a more simple life. And I mean, obviously everybody's journey is different, but in the end, like, it is pretty simple because it all has to do with Jesus Christ's love. So I believe that everybody has these two roads and everybody has had that time where they had to choose. And so when would you say a specific time in your earlier childhood where you feel like you had those two roads that you had to choose for yourself?
Like childhood, like elementary?
Yeah, let's start a little younger.
Honestly, I did not feel like I had any options growing up. Like, I really just kind of was like going through the motions of everything I did. And that applies to like not even just spiritually, but like mentally, physically. Like, I really didn't feel like I had a choice to do anything. I kind of just did as my parents told me to do, or the opposite, just because rebellion, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm like pretty I'm still trying to understand this about myself, but even up until probably high school, I just was just going through life. Like we just did what we did. I had not really any desire to learn more, and I just felt really like capped. Like I honestly just felt really stupid my whole life. And I was that because I have ADD. So I just had a difficult time understanding like what potential I had, I guess. And so like, yeah, I mean, my growing up life for me was pretty simple. Like we also just didn't have a lot. And so we just lived, I don't know, went to school, played with my friends, same thing. And I would say it really wasn't up until high school, just because of the way I was brought up and the certain like trials and experiences I went through. That's when I really was like, okay, I am sick of being at where I'm at. And that, honestly, I was just applying that with the way I dressed, who I hung out with, like the jobs I was working at. I was like, this is just ridiculous. Like I want more. And as one would in life.
Hopefully.
When you're in high school, all you just want are, I don't know, friends to find things that make you happy. And you think that that's more friends or more cooler hobbies or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whichever. And so like specifically, I think this was probably right before I'm like traveling through, but it's probably right before my mission, where I really understood, okay, right now I'm working at Classic Fun Center. And I went to UVU for a semester.
Did you get good at skating at least?
Yeah, you know what? And there we go.
Oh,
that's all I wanted. All I wanted was
perfect.
360.
Because you didn't get paid very well.
Actually, it was pretty decent, I won't lie. At the time, in comparison to like other things that I
wasn't it like 14?
No, it was a lot more than that.
Okay, that's
I
good.
don't know if I can say it, but
that's okay.
It was more than that.
That's good.
It was more than that. I was a manager at all my best friends, so life was good, but life was complacent. Like it was a very like plateau. Like I was doing this, like I was my high school job, the end of high school job, and I went to UU for a semester, dropped out because I hated school, and I realize now that I have a really hard time learning in like big lectures, like full day classes, like every day. I can't sit still. I can't pay attention for more than like 45 minutes, unless it's something that I choose to do. And I was just doing the same thing. All I did was work, and all I would do was just hang out with my friends. We do the same activities, and I just saw myself going down a road that honestly like was the one more traveled by, and it was just nothing that I really wanted. It was just more like, oh, this is all that I know, so I'll just keep doing it. Like I'm never gonna go back to school because I hate it, and like I don't feel like I'm learning anything, so what's the point? But I feel like I've always been naturally very curious, and so I realized like I love talking to people. Like I love chatting, and so I had this opportunity to serve my mission. And at first I was like, no, there's literally no way. I will not serve. You know, you're familiar.
Yeah.
And then
why didn't you want to?
Just because, I guess growing up, because we live here in Utah, like we went to Provo.
Let's be real.
Praise of Provo. And so we're surrounded by everyone like going on missions, and you're just like, yeah, like that's just like a thing you do when you're a part of the state. Like this is, or the church. And I just had no desire, and it didn't like resonate with me in any way. And I guess I really only saw not necessarily negative things, but I didn't realize any of the value that came with serving a mission. And I also just didn't think I knew enough to go out in the first place, as most people do. But then I was really in a place where I had nothing to lose. I had literally nothing to lose. And I had no specific ties to like being in Provo. I didn't really get homesick. Homesick did not exist for me because I didn't really have a home for like most of my life. And so when the opportunity came at first, I was like, no, there's no way. Sounds so long. I had to go and I had to wear a dress. At that point, I was like, I will never, just at that time, the way I dressed was like, I would never want to wear a dress.
That was so hard for me.
Yeah. And I wore pants, honestly.
Me too, every day.
And so, and I didn't know anything about scriptures. I couldn't even like read scriptures, couldn't understand it. But then a few months later, my heart was totally softened, and I just had a crazy desire. I literally woke up and was like, yeah.
What do you think changed?
I think that there was probably like a 2 or 3 month period in between of when I had been given the opportunity to serve and then like really thought about it. I think I became very clear. Like I was looking at what I was doing and I was like, are you kidding me? Like I feel like from when I first had this, it was when I got my patriarchal blessing. And it was very clearly stated in there, you will receive a mission call and you will have a desire to fulfill it. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. And then over the next few months, I was just like, I didn't do anything. Like I had like what's it called? Reevaluation. Yeah. I was like evaluating my life 2 months later. And I was like, I'm doing the same thing. I'm hanging out with the same people. I didn't learn anything new or different. And I like to think that I had all these like really cool takes or whatever, but I wasn't applying anything. Like I had no habits change. I didn't feel like...
Some people are okay with that though. Like some people are 100% okay with the same friends, same environment. So why do you think you weren't? Like what drew you to not want to be there anymore?
I think because during that time, I just know my heart was softened. And also I think I had little glimpse of hope and also like of potential. And it was more like there is so much more for you out there than working at Classic Fun Center, than DJing every single Throwback Thursday and to just keep doing nothing. And although it was fun, like it was so much, like I had so much fun with my friends. We did so many things, like laughed. And I was happy, but I don't think I'd ever experienced joy. And I really believe there's a difference between happiness and joy. And joy only comes through Jesus Christ. And happiness is very temporary, but joy is eternal. So I kind of had like a little reevaluation and I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's just go. Like full send, spontaneous decision. And I didn't tell anybody about it. I really just needed to make sure that I was going for me, because I had multiple different like families who I loved, like second moms, different friend groups and different people who had a lot of opinions. And I just was like, I really can't go for someone else. And I feel like we know tons of people from growing up who go for other people, or sometimes guys feel like they fall under pressure from their parents. And I think that has like pros to it. I mean, at least they get out there. But I really, really have a strong testimony that if you at one point are not personally converting to Jesus Christ, you cannot borrow someone else's testimony. Or you can for only so long. That's the question?
Yes, 100%. How do you, with that last thing that you just said, how long do you feel like, well, I mean, we never stop growing our testimony, obviously. It never stops. But when do you feel like your testimony started to where you realized it was yours and you weren't just borrowing off of somebody else's?
I think the moment that I had my first meeting with my bishop, I had never met him before. We had no relations. My like records got transferred later on. And so it was just like a first meeting with him. And I just was like, Bishop, I want to start a mission. And I feel like a lot of the time, maybe there's a little bit more preparation before you do this, or it's ideal that you're going to mission prep or temple prep or church, but I wasn't doing any of those. And so what was the question again?
Where do you feel like you started to find your own testimony and not just somebody else's?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I really feel like that was like the first decision I had made for me. Because to start to go to college, honestly, like major life decisions, like going to college and moving out, I had to move out because I had like a foster home. So that was decision made for me. College, do you remember Elena from Provo High? She was the college career advisor. And so she just advised kids on what colleges they should go to or whatever, or they want to. And she was a very big, like, advocator, person involved in my life who pretty much was like, you should go to college. And so that was a decision made for me. She helped me apply, do my applications. And so then when it came to me making this appointment with my bishop and like going on a mission, that was me. I had nobody telling me to do that besides the Lord. Yeah, besides my blessing. And so then I really felt like, okay, this is me. So this is like my testimony. This is what I know that I want to do. And I was like, I want to do it. And I'm going to have this desire to do it until I go through something that makes me not want to. Okay, so that was my first like original thought process. And then through the time where I started my papers and then left, it was about 9 months. I wanted to leave as soon as I started my papers. So I had my first meeting with my bishop. 2 days later, he opened my portal, and then I finished it in like 2 weeks, my papers. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, I want to leave this month. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think it's about March. I was like, I want to leave in March right now. I didn't leave in March, okay, left in December, so a lot longer through then. But even throughout that time, I already saw how my perspective had changed. And I knew it was different because I had pretty much the same perspective as the people around you, because you are going to be like the 6 people that you are surrounded with, and like that's like the direction you're gonna go. So if you're hanging around and the people you associate, if they are partying and drinking and doing, like, you are most likely to fall into that down the road, at least like 3 months. And so I realized that through this time when I decided to serve mission and my testimony was growing, I was thinking differently than the people around me. And then I started to understand like what these people were doing. Like, who am I hanging out with? What kind of values do they have? Do they even have values? Like, what even does that look like, you know? And I would ask people kind of like besides like the typical college question, like, what are you studying? What do you want to do with that? Most people don't know, and that's okay. But I think I remember having a conversation with someone, and it was talking about like serving, I think, or like or helping someone, or some sort of like foundation, or okay, all of that didn't make any sense. I was talking to someone who made it their value to help other people. And then I was like, that's really smart. I was like, wait, I want to do that too. Like, I'm about to serve a mission. I really like that. So that resonated with me. And so then I even saw from there. And then I go to the MTC. First day at MTC, I was so, like, it was so awesome because they just went over like the why to the things that we believe in. Mm-hmm. Like, what is faith? Why are we doing what we do? Why do we read the scriptures? Why do we go to church? I like didn't know any of these things. And I grew up Christian, or so I thought, but I didn't know anything. And so when I finally had that opportunity to actually understand why, I was like, oh, it's over. Like, I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to do this. I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to serve a mission. Amen.
Amen. Amen to that.
Did that make sense?
No, 100%. No, it did. 100%. Okay, going back a little bit, because you were talking about your friends and the people that you're around.
Yeah.
And then you had that conversation. With the friends and the people that you surrounded yourself with, when you realized that most of them didn't have the same values or same goals as you did you feel a great loss from learning of that?
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I had a lot of different friends, like, in this time period before my mission. And I was, like, associating myself with tons of different friend groups, like, very social. And so I was really basing it, like, kind of off that. Like, I was basing these values out of, like, a broad, very broad perspective. And I honestly didn't really realize how much my values had changed until after I had gotten home. And so there I served in the Hawaii Honolulu mission, and then I came back for about a year. And then I came back to Salt Lake, and then I served about 6 months in the Salt Lake City mission. And so during this time, I was living with my brother because it was a service assignment. And that was when I really started like understanding what I value, like really understanding what I value, like loyalty, friendship, to be genuine, like authenticity, things like that. Christ, of course. And I was really studying like Christ-like attributes. And that's when I kind of realized that a lot of the people I'd surrounded myself with before my like BC, before I found Christ,
okay.
Before Christ.
Okay.
Before Christ. There was like a huge gap. I feel like I came home and I just had all like I was blessed with so much charity during this time where I sacrificed time and effort, and I consecrated them towards the Savior and towards helping other people find the same love and peace that I found through Jesus Christ. And so when I came home and I saw that a lot of my friends kind of were like, yeah, like that's good, like encouraging me in a way, but didn't really have that desire for themselves. I was like, okay, like I understand that there is a slight gap here. But that's okay. I think it's great to have friends who have different values than you, because that's how you grow. But I think it's more important to really have your circle and your like people, your foundation built upon those with the same values, and most importantly, upon Christ. And what was the question?
How did Jesus specifically help you with those losses of friendships?
He removed them, honestly. And I know that I think that I am like still even really seeing this and still trying to understand this, but Christ really helped me understand his mercy, and I think his plan and God's plan. And if it were up to me, I would still probably be having the same connection in the sense of what I wanted. Like I was really stuck on, I'm coming home and like it's going to be how it was before. And that is like what I was set on, had I not realized what growth means. And so I was just like, okay, this will be awesome. Like I'm going to grow spiritually, but like in every other aspect. And like, because in my like understanding, it was like my life, my spiritual life. And so I was like, I just went like this in my spiritual life. Like I learned so much doctrine. I learned about Christ. I learned all these stories. And like I had these experiences, these crazy spiritual experiences that like had me grow. But then I'm going to go here and it's going to be fine. But then it's just like going to merge together and it's going to be great. And then I come home and all of this is a mess. I had people who were like so close to me just not want to continue that friendship anymore. And that literally shattered me. I like felt like my entire understanding of honestly myself was built upon those friendships that I had, because I didn't really have that much support from my blood family. And so I just found it in other places. And so when I came home from my mission and all these other people didn't want anything to do with that anymore, I just was like, I have nothing. And I have already felt like I had nothing, period, like throughout my entire life, like financially, physically. I've always known to like work for the things that I'd been given. And so, yeah, I hit rock bottom again. It's kind of what happened. It was great because every time that I hit rock bottom and every time I am backed up against the wall, that is where I learn more about Christ every single time. I have grown even more closer to the Savior, and I feel like I'm just like going up a staircase. Like I started when I decided to go on a mission, and honestly, even before that, I know that I have like seen how Heavenly Father has prepared me to go through these situations. And so like I'm just slowly going up these stairs. And on my mission, I felt like I was running up the stairs and I just was growing so much spiritually. And it was so much easier to do that because you're very safe. Like you are provided with every needful thing during that time. And you are surrounded by your mission president, with your companions and with your zone, your district, and members who are encouraging you, people at home who are encouraging you. And then you come home and it's like, okay, you're home. And then they like kind of shift their focus. And I don't know how often it's talked about, but like adjusting back to your life, but after changing drastically through your mission is so hard.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever done ever.
Yeah.
Like it's genuinely so weird. And for me, it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like hard in the sense of, oh, I need to get a job and I can go back to school and I am now living at home. Like that part wasn't hard for me. The hardest part was I changed so much in such a short period of time. And now I'm back to my regular life.
It's just long.
It's like
the endurance part is like,
it's like, I don't know how to be this person for so many other people when I haven't been this person for them ever. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's so
Like,
fire.
I have never been
That's so true.
the person that I have learned to be for them.
Yeah.
Ever. So I came home and I had a lot of good, I had a lot of good friends that I loved very much. But we had not been these new people for each other ever.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me to learn that sometimes people are brought into your life to get you to a certain point.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they have to go. And it sucks to see them go. But, I mean, I genuinely don't think that everybody who comes into your life is supposed to stay. And that's the thing that has been the hardest thing for me to learn.
Yeah. It's so, that is so interesting. And I feel like there are a lot of people who have like a hard time realizing this. But I think that if you understand, first of all, you can't ever control anybody else. And everyone has their own agency or free will. But those who do prioritize Christ and those who do value like striving to become like him and their conversion and serving and loving other people, you will be with those people for a long time. And so
I did some God's will.
Yeah, I like what you were saying too before, like to learn to become that person for all your friends at home or all the people who you associated with at home is so different.
It's so different.
And I feel like you also kind of realize, like, okay, what's different when I come home? Like, okay, like, what are you guys doing? And then sometimes you find them doing the same thing, or they're still working the same place or doing the same hobbies, which is not always a bad thing at all. But for me, when I came home, I just was like, oh, I had like just a taste of like what God has for me. So I want to keep going. Like, I want to keep that like spiritual momentum. I want to keep.
And so how have you continued to go? Keep going?
I've asked so many people. I had 4 mission presidents, and I've asked many more people in my life who are like, who I look up to. Just advice they have for returning missionaries or just people who have like had that amazing experience to find Christ and to keep going. And my one of my mission presidents, it was my very last interview with him. And he had opened up how he had gone through specific trials, where he honestly kind of had like a faith crisis, and he just had like a 180 of habits. Okay. So he went from like really great habits to not so much. And he told me, he said, if I had prayed, like I prayed like on my mission, which is literally all the time, like you are praying for every single thing, every meal, before you leave your apartment, before you talk to anybody. If he had prayed like he prayed on his mission, if he had studied the scriptures like he studied on his mission, which is for everything, and if he had been as selfless as he was on his mission, then he probably would have handled those situations and opposition he went through way differently. And I honestly have strived so hard to keep those same habits, like those same scripture studying habits, and my prayers. Like those 2 things have been very big for me. Selfless part, I found that I've gone through some very big ways, and I've definitely been very selfish at some points. But those 3 things I have done that have saved me so much. Like I know if had I not studied the scriptures as much as I do now, I wouldn't be thinking about Christ as much as I do now. I feel like I really resonated with like Christ-like attributes throughout my whole mission and like the character of Christ. Because that gave me a lot of like direction, I guess. And like I've really found myself through him, which is funny. Which is like how it's supposed to be, I feel like. And so right now I'm studying the scriptures, Christ-like attributes and the character of Christ, and really trying to like analyze the things that he would do, the way that he would act in any situation. And so now that I've studied that, I try to apply that. So every single day, I'm so much happier when I decide to turn the other cheek, or when I decide to sacrifice something that would just be like so funny or witty to say, but at the cost of someone's feelings.
What is a specific Christ-like attribute you're working on right now?
Charity.
Why is that?
Charity, and honestly, always charity, because charity is the root of all Christ-like attributes. without charity, we are nothing. Without like that Christ, like that perfect love, the perfect love that Christ has, you are not going to get anywhere else. And I know that I'm always trying to work on diligence. I've seen a lot of great blessings from diligence, mostly because I didn't really have that growing up. Like I was very just spontaneous, quick. I'm like, steps 1 to 6, we're good. Don't need 2, 3, 4, 5. But then through diligence, I found a lot more structure and a lot more stability. And there's like a really good amount of consistency to help me continue to progress forward. And I wouldn't really care to have diligence if I didn't have that love that Christ has for other people. So I wouldn't have been as intentional with the people that I am as I am now. And intentionality is very big for me. I really try, like when I connect with someone, like I want to know how you're doing. I want to know what's going on. If it hasn't been very pleasant for you, then why not? And why has it been, or things like that. And so I really pray for charity every day.
That is amazing. I need to do that more. But looking at everything that you have told me so far, you definitely there was a difference between the two roads that you could have gone down.
Sure.
Right? Like you could have continued to stay on, I mean, you said earlier that you felt like you never had a home growing up. So you could have continued to stay on that path and not searched for a home. And I don't mean to speak for you, but I feel like you have found that home in Christ.
For sure.
And that is where you have found it because, I mean, homes and family and all that thing is super important. But at the same time, like those things are not always promised. There is not always promised love and family and friendships. But Jesus is promised. And so you were able to find that home and that stability in him. And so what do you think your life would have been like if you would have continued to stay on the path that you had before finding Christ?
I think it would have been very complacent. And I think that I would have been so prideful and I would have been like, I'm not complacent. Like I know so many more things than I ever would have if I had gone on a mission, or I think I would have had a slightly pessimistic point of view, but covered that with a lot of like sarcasm. And I fear that that's what everyone in this generation has. Or not everyone, excuse me. But like, I feel like that's very common. I feel like people kind of glorify the 7 deadly sins, honestly. And I think that they all make jokes about it and no one actually ever does anything about it. And so I think that people say, well, we need to acknowledge this. And so they talk about it, but there's no action.
There's no action
behind it.
There's none.
That
drives me crazy. The one that drives me most crazy is, I mean, when we say that we want to make a change, like let's say there's something happening across the world. Okay, let's say we want to make a change about this event. War, we post about it, we talk about it. Okay, but what are you going to do?
Right.
Just because you posted about it on your Instagram story, you didn't just change the world.
Right. And I'm not trying to hypocrite here, but I just think that there, like that is a great example. And I think that there are also people who say like, you know, I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, there's like this one saying, a friend to all is a friend to none. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That I literally forgot about that.
People, I remember hearing that a ton when I moved back here to Provo. And all these girls were like, actually a lot of people, and they kept saying this. And that honestly, and a lot of people were like, you can't make everybody happy. You can't have a lot of friends. Like you can't. You're not being real if you have a lot of friends.
Why not?
I'm like, what? No, I think you're not being kind. I think that, well, that's not kind to say that you're not being kind, but I think that if you truly want to connect with somebody, you can. You can connect with someone about literally anything. Anything. And I have a testament about that because I try to do that all the time. And with charity, it's going to be a lot likely possible. It's going to be more possible. It'll happen. So what was I saying? Yeah. Wait. Oh, my life before, like the road?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think I would have been saying things like that. I think I would have just been like bandwagon off other people who probably have values, but weren't ones that I felt like I would have found for myself. And I probably would have had a very hard heart, and I would have been very opinionated, and I would have just been sharing them, not really caring for anyone else's. I wouldn't have been as considerate. I would have been very inconsiderate probably. And it's just kind of like the way that I felt like I would have seen myself go down. And honestly, sometimes as I'm on this other path that is pointing me towards Christ, sometimes I will have glimpses when I go through a certain trial or opposition, and I just want to do it my way. I just want to, like, you know what? I got this. Like, I don't need your help. I get a little glimpse of what it would be like on that other road that I remember, and I don't want to do that. And I really, really have a strong testimony of God's plan, honestly. Like, I've just seen so many people who, like, I don't believe in coincidences. I do not believe in coincidence. I believe that God is all-knowing. He is all-powerful, and He is all-just and all-merciful and all-loving. And He has a very perfect love for me and for you. And it is literally in His nature to bless us. So we are all His children. And I have been blessed, like, more than I can count. Like, I could cry right now for all the things that I have been blessed with in literally every aspect of my life. Like, I have been given so much. And I can't even, like, think about where I would be had I not been open to receiving the blessings that God has given me. Because He is always wanting to bless you. But it's just how open you are, whether it's in your heart or your action, if you want to receive those blessings or not. And I also know that God does not punish. I really think that there are just natural consequences to your actions, our actions, and we're most likely to make a lot of actions that might have a lot of consequences. We have a really hard heart, and if we're very prideful.
It kind of reminds me of the story when Jesus Christ was walking with the disciples, and there was, I think it was a fig tree. There's a fig tree in the middle of the road, and Jesus said that He was hungry. So He goes up to this tree, and there's no fruit on it. It's dead. There's absolutely nothing there. And He just, like, stares at it. This is how I imagine, okay? He's just, like, staring at it, and He was like, bruh, like, you gotta be kidding. I'm hungry. What are you doing in the middle of the road? One, I want to pass by you. And two, like, there's no fruit. And so He disintegrates this tree. It's gone. Like, it literally, like, pff, boom, gone. And the disciples are like, what's happening? Like, what is happening? This is my interpretation of what I would make the chosen to look like. You'd be like, bro, you gotta be kidding me. Whoa. Anyway, so He's looking at this tree. It's gone. This tree is gone. And then He just keeps walking. And I just, like, I think about this, and there's many things I think about this story. One, I think there are times in our lives where people are disintegrated out of our lives. Like, just gone. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Like, sometimes God does not give us a choice. Like, God does not give us a choice on whether some people should be in our lives or not. Because even if you don't see it, like, they may eventually continue to hurt you.
I agree.
And then I think we do this ourselves too. Like, we come to something hoping for the potential of there to be more, and there's not. And I think it's really good when we're able to be like Jesus was, make it go away, and just keep going, right? And so that's, like, kind of what I'm seeing with your story is, like, you were looking for potential in this world. You were searching for it. You were trying to find happiness in being in with the in crowd and being friends with people who are cool and, like, just being worldly, honestly. And then coming up to it and being like, there's nothing for me here. I'm starving for something that is more than what this is giving me. Yeah. And so Jesus was able to be like, let's just make it go away. Let's just make it go away, and let's go to try to find fruit somewhere else, because it's there. It just might be farther down the road than you expected.
Great. I like that. I like that a lot. And I feel like a lot of people find themselves stuck at those trees,
just staring at it. And they're like, it'll grow eventually. The fruit will grow eventually, but it won't. If the tree is dead and the roots are broken, They're not growing. They're not going anywhere.
That's good.
and it's hard to just let it go. But what is like one of your favorite parables or stories of Jesus in general?
That's a good question. I would think.
You can ponder.
It has to be from the Bible.
You can try whatever you want.
I would probably say, okay, first, let me preface, I feel like I'm so bad with the parables. That's so bad. I will always just mix them up. Can I have 2 answers?
Of course you can.
So first one, parable of the talents. I feel like that has always resonated with me, and it's very well known, which I appreciate, so then I can get it kind of locked in. But I always had like a hard time talking about like myself. Like some people will ask you, oh, and this happened on the mission all the time, what are gifts or spiritual gifts that God has given you? Or what are things that you're good at? I hated talking about the things I was good at because I truly like convinced myself that I was good at nothing. And I had like just a low self-esteem and low self-image that I couldn't talk about the things. I would just say, oh, these are things I like, but I could not like phrase it. This is what I'm good at, and this is what I've been given. And probably not until like the very the tail end of my mission, I had a conversation with somebody, and it was like a girl, and I think she was probably near my age, and she was just so like bubbly and like a very curious, like genuine girl. And she was asking me, what do you think that your talents are? And I really just paused because I hate being asked that question because I couldn't give an answer. And then she phrased it as like, what are the things that like God has given you? And then what I really like understood it as, what are the things God has given me? So many things popped into my head. And then I really understood like the parable of the talents, and the talents that some are given and you don't use anything, but you don't use them. And then what do? You bury them. And then you don't grow or anything like that. And then those who were given, was it 5 and 3?
I think so.
5, 3, 1.
Looks like it.
I need to like confirm this.
Also,
The talents, how many talents were?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's 5, and I think 3, maybe 2, maybe more, or 2 and 1, whatever. Okay. And those who were able to multiply their talents were given more talents.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, as soon as that clicked, I really tried to understand the talents I was given and then multiply them. And I found that every time I pray and every time I try to understand these talents I was given, I was able to understand that if I have the desire to serve and to build the Lord's kingdom, my talents will be magnified. And I will truly be able to understand them and to really like know and accept that they are a part of me. And that honestly opened up to a lot of different ways. Like my self-image has definitely got up. I've been able to find love through Christ, and honestly, charity. I forgot the other thing I was going to say too.
It's okay. So what do you think God has given you?
I think he's given me a gift of making people feel comfortable, and to honestly, curiosity. I think that that's a gift, really. And I would like to think that people do, hopefully they interpret it as like a genuine connection. And honestly, I think those 2 things are like a very big part of my personality. I've gotten where I am because I believe in that. And I wasn't afraid to just chat it up with anybody and to like have that conversation with someone. And those conversations have led me to where I literally am today. Like every time I open my mouth, well, it's either good or bad. Or blessed me or hasn't, but all those blessings are definitely worth it. And I think he's blessed me with perseverance and diligence. And a lot of these things I had like recognized early on.
Mm-hmm.
And he always blesses me with the eyes to see.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Okay. So you've definitely like understood and lived a life and tried to live a life without Christ in it. You attempted, right?
Yeah.
And so what what would you say to people who are going through the same thing, who are trying to come to that tree? There is no fruit and they're trying to find it. Like, what would you say to those people who are still standing there?
Honestly, I get it, because a lot of the time they have that hope that something good will come from it. But also you do have to have the realization that just because you want it to happen so badly does not mean that it is in God's will for it to happen. And a lot of the time, maybe people are in different seasons where they're trying to slow down. And so to understand, like, wait, I'm trying to slow down, but this tree is still dead. How can I like keep going? Like, isn't that being impatient? Well, I think that there, again, is a lot of there's a bigger picture than that. And if you are not sticking to truths, you will never know where you're going. If you do not have the Holy Ghost with you, you are not going to be able to discern anything. Mm-hmm. And it was said by Russell M. Nelson, those who do not have the gift of the Holy Ghost will not be able to spiritually survive. And I testify that, honestly. I see on social media all the time. And I know that this is different because I see probably very similar videos, like similar patterns in like social media and the way people like behave before my mission. And I'm seeing it now. And this time I'm a lot more in tune with the Spirit, and I'm seeing people say things and act. And I'm like, whoa, like there is no substance in what you just said. And some people don't intend to have that, but I just think that's like, what? I hate being shallow. I really hate being shallow. Mm-hmm. There's no point, in my opinion. Like, tell me something deep. And so those who are sowing in that tree, you've really got to understand your values. You've really got to find truths, study your scriptures, say your prayers, and understand the character of Christ and the nature of God. You do those things, you will find more trees that have fruit. And you will be able to understand fruits of... Wait, what am I trying to say?
Fruits of your labors?
Yes. You will see the fruits of your labors, and you will be able to discern that is fruit and that it's not the opposite.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the saying that Jesus is always the answer. I feel like that's kind of thrown around, right? It's like, Jesus is the answer to this. Jesus is the answer to this. Like, do you believe that? And how did you grow to actually believe that?
Yeah, I do believe that. And I believe that because most of the time when someone says Jesus is the answer and then they follow that with action, it's pretty easy to say whether that was or wasn't. Generally. Like, to keep it simple, Christ will always he will always be kind. He will always be merciful. He will be just. And he will always have his hand extended, and he will be selfless. And so I think it's different when someone says Jesus is the answer and it does the opposite. And people are kind of like, oh, like, how that's funny. That's probably a joke, right? Because everyone knows that Christ is not going to turn away from you ever. I also have been able to understand that the adversary and kind of like what that looks like. And so the adversary will always push for contention, judgment, compulsion, pride, belittling, and honestly, any of those things that put anyone down. And I think that a lot of people don't recognize those, like the fruits of that labor, because that's not good. That's going to take you somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And that's going to take you along that road that's just going down. And to be able to discern the difference is really when you can say, yes, honestly, Jesus is the answer, because he is promoting love, like true, genuine love, all around love. And really always will have your best interest. Yeah.
It's pretty cool that he does, that he cares so much. Like, sometimes I think back on my life, or I even sometimes think about somebody else's life, and it's like, okay, why did they have to go through the things that they did to get to where they are today?
I love that one.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I look back on our lives and I'm like, what the frick, bro?
I'm like, you go way back, by the way. You go back to literally elementary.
But like, I look back on it and I'm like, okay, but why did we choose the path that we did for that amount of time? Like, why did we allow ourselves to walk down the path most traveled by for that long?
Comfort.
It was comfort. 100%. It was comfort. It was comfortability. It was because the people around us were doing it.
Pleasure.
And it was because
Immediate pleasure.
it was self-gratification.
Instant
gratification. And I think that's the hardest one for me. I think instant gratification, like in a job, I want the money right then and there.
Valid.
In a friendship, I want to be able to feel loved that second. In a relationship, like I want to be able to feel a connection like as soon as possible. And it's like if I don't get those things right then and there, then I'm like, well, God's not here. Bye. Like I'm not even kidding. And I think that's where I go wrong, where it's like I don't have any patience towards anything. And that's still a hard thing for me. Like
For sure.
and I think it will always be, but I think it's something that
For sure.
and oh my gosh, praying for patience is actually the worst idea of my life.
He's going to give you opportunity.
Oh, 100%.
That's good. The faster you do it, the faster you learn.
I know, but I just feel like I still have it. Like I genuinely feel like I have not learned patience yet
Are you like comparing it to something?
in my life. Like right now in my life, I'm not where I want to be, but also I have everything I need to get to where I want to be.
Well, you're never really going to be where you want to be.
I know, and that's the problem, is I'm always going to be unsatisfied with whatever I'm doing.
Well, yeah, everyone will. You will always be hungry until you make it to the top.
I know. But the thing is it's what Jesus says, right? Living water. You will never thirst and you will never be hungry. And so what I've been realizing about my life is I am being impatient in the wrong things. I should be impatiently, I need to go read my scriptures so I can feel filled today. I need to pray today so I can feel filled today.
That's good.
And so I'm trying to be filled by things that are so earthly that I'm always hungry, that I'm always bored, that I'm always honestly being super selfish because I'm prideful and I want the things now, right now, like today.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm not drinking out of the living well. That's literally right in front of me every day.
So true.
And it's like what you were saying earlier, like we are taught to pray so much. We're taught to pray about everything. Before you eat, before you leave the house, before you go to bed, before you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to do that. And it's like, it needs to become more of a routine in my life because if I don't make it a routine now, that I'm scared of the other path. I'm scared that
Yeah.
the path that looks like it has fruit when the tree is dead will become more appealing if I don't start doing it now.
For sure.
And if I don't realize that my impatience is 100% going to be the death of me. That's where Satan gets me. 100%. Impatience and anger. And it's not like anger like I'm going to go punch somebody in the face, right? It's like quiet anger. Where it's like...
Compelling anger?
It's like... I don't know how to explain it. It's like if something makes me angry, I go completely silent. Like... And I'm a talker. I'm a yapper.
Like, does like take over your mind almost?
It's... Yeah, I can't think about anything else. And if I say anything, it'll be something stupid. I'm not even kidding. And I'm working on it. I really am. And so patience and anger are the two things that I think will 100%. What is it called? Like a hurrah.
Iron rod.
No.
Rob?
No. You know, like a, you know,
Quran?
no. You know when somebody's like in a desert and they have no water and they start seeing stuff.
Oh, hallucinate.
Yes, but what is it called? A
Delirium.
Mirage?
Mirage.
Mirage. Thanks, Camden. A mirage. Okay, right? They see a mirage, right? That's what the other road looks like. It's a mirage of happiness and tall buildings that look cool with parties and
Like the grand spacious building.
yeah, and like Hollywood and movie stars and all the crazy things that are happening in this world. It's like that seems so cool.
Right.
Like that seems like the life that I would
like,
want.
It could satisfy what I want right now.
100%.
Or a very temporary.
Oh, 100%.
But it's like in our, honestly, it's because the natural man. Natural man is the enemy to God. So that like inside, like I feel the same way. There are things that I see and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. Like, all logic, all like whatever, discernment gone. And I'm like, I want it right now.
Yeah.
And then it just takes another opportunity of a trial to get us back up to where we want to go. Yeah, where it aligns with God's will, but.
And it's like, well, perfect.
Little brick.
Well, I'm glad for this other road that we found. It's holy. But it's been cool to be able to to be able to see the other side too, where it's like,
For sure. Or glimpses too.
yeah, just like glimpses of it, especially in other people, like understanding that it is possible to come back from literally anything, that no matter literally anything, and no matter what road like you did decide to go down, it's never too late to go to the other side too. You get to teleport.
And I feel like a lot of people will kind of be like, all right, there's so many different opportunities and possibilities. Like, where do I go? How do I? And a lot of the time, I think people go down a road and come back, and another one, no. I don't really think it is just two.
Oh,
I
100%.
think that, like, for me, I found like my discernment is something I really don't mess around with. Like, when I can feel myself, like, honestly, if I feel compulsion, or if I'm feeling like I'm taking over, if I'm feeling like I'm forced to do something, I know it's not Christ, because Christ will never ever force you to do anything, because we are given agency, and that is like a truth. We'll always have our free will. Although I know that because I've experienced like my heart being softened and the spirit being present, and to where I am persuaded to do good, and I do know that that is like a fruit of the spirit. I know that's a fruit of the Spirit. And so as I look to what people are doing and what the action looks like, and if there is value placed behind it, then that mirage is gone. And I see it's pretty clear. But I don't know, we'll say.
Now we just have to keep it away. And that's the hard part.
Yeah. Enduring.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. Boop.
It's only been like almost 2 years. Well, because I guess
Since what?
in December, it'll have been 2 years since like I really found Christ. And I don't remember, I just remember you, well, because did your like testimony start when you started your mission, or did it start a little bit before?
It was definitely before.
A time coming before?
Yeah, it was definitely before. And it's really hard because sometimes I ask these questions and I think to myself, how the frick would I answer this? And it's like,
I like what I was just saying.
And it's like, okay, well, when does a testimony start? It's like, okay, then what is a testimony? Like, what's the definition of a testimony?
The things that you know to be true.
Mm-hmm. But then it's like, okay, and then it goes back to, okay, did I know this was true, or was I told it was true?
Ooh.
Right? Because there's a difference in that too.
True.
Like, because when you're told something over and over and over again, you start to believe it. I've noticed that in social media. I've noticed that like in family members. Like if I'm told something over and over and over again,
Actually,
it's like
that, and people don't question credibility anymore.
Oh, 100%.
That's crazy.
Nobody questions.
People
Like, where'd it come from?
Yeah, and I'm like, I saw a video. Who's that video? I don't know.
TikTok.
Yeah, I'm like,
Anyway, so exactly. It's like, okay, so was I told it, or do I actually believe it? And so I think that is what a testimony is when you finally like can tell the difference between what you were told and what you believe. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I think when I finally realized that what I had been being told was true for myself.
Yeah.
I think it had to have been, I remember the day. It was June 7th, 2023, when I realized that the feeling that I had been feeling at that moment of that day, like that was God. There was no earthly thing that could make me feel that way. There's no earthly thing that could make me feel like I was everything, and like I don't even know. I can't describe in words how God makes me feel. Like it's like I feel everything and nothing all at once. Like I feel like I was burning and nothing else mattered, but everything mattered at the same time. And it was like when you find that connection with God, when you figure out how he talks to you, like that's when you can't leave. Like you can't.
You've just literally witnessed something so great. You
literally can't. And when you do kind of fade away, like you always are drawn back to that moment because God needs you to remember those things. That's why you 100% go through as much pain as you do. Because if you did not go through as much pain or as much loss as you have, then you wouldn't know what it is like to be found.
Absolutely.
You would never know.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that the people who have had those experiences and who do start to fade away will fill that void with so many temporary and worldly satiating things.
Mm-hmm.
They will fill it with addiction. They will fill it with procrastination, pride, all these things. But really, they have felt that truth, and they just are letting the adversary convince them that it's somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I'm grateful for like people's openness and being okay with talking about, I did leave God for a little bit.
For sure. I love it. I mean, there's no shame. Literally no shame.
Mm-hmm.
The adversary wants to feel shame.
There's none. And because we didn't actually ever leave God. Like, it's impossible. Like,
We're not too far.
No. And you can't leave him. And so thank you so much for sharing all the things you have today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Anyway, well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your thoughts. Keep doing it because more people need to hear things like this. People need to be more vulnerable and talking about the different paths that we do go on and how we can come back and why we stay. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thank you guys so much for watching and have a good day and peace.